Hi, we want to welcome you to At the Table with the Herndons. My name is Pastor Gene Herndon. This is my wife, Shayna. We are literally working on putting together these series of shows because people have commented on some of the things that we posted on Facebook and the food that we've cooked. And so we kind of decided to put together this concept, which is to combine two of our favorite things, God and food. And we have spiritual conversations and we talk about things that are on people's hearts, as well as we cook unbelievable food, and we want to share our table with you. And so we welcome you to At the Table with the Herndons. We're going to be making a citrus glazed shrimp. We're going to be making broiled lobster with candied baby carrots, and we're going to be making homemade pasta with a brown butter sage sauce. And then we're going to be making for our dessert a poached pear dessert. And so we're going to have a good time today. This is date night food, and so we are joined with the newlywed couples here, the Delphines. This is Jordy, and this is Wendy. Please say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
We are super excited to have them here. And so we're going to be dealing with date night food. And so, we're going to be talking to all those people that are grown, sexy, and married.
Hey.
All of y'all that ain't married, take notes, because this will be things you could do when you are married. But we wanted to pick things that were kind of appropriate for a romantic date night between a husband and a wife. Now, if you want to have a romantic date night and you're not married, get a couple people with you, put a group together, and then you can do the same thing. That way you have accountability.
Yeah.
Amen? No Netflix and chill around here. Got it? So, we're going to start with making our pasta. And so what we have here is we have a cup and a half of semolina flour. And you can make pasta without this, but I would never do it without semolina flour because semolina flour has more fiber in it than regular white all-purpose flour. So you start with a cup and a half. If you have a nice countertop like this, you can just pour it right out. And this is a cup and a half of all-purpose flour. And as you can see the difference, there's a big difference between the two. You want a teaspoon of salt, mix it together, and you want to create a well in the middle. And in that well, you want to pour 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and you want to take 4 eggs. When you crack eggs, never crack them on the side of the bowl because you'll get eggshells on the inside, and of course, you don't want that. Break the yolks and mix those together, very lightly beaten. And then you want to pour that right into your well. The best cooking utensils that you could ever find are your hands. And so,
They're clean.
yes, make sure they're clean. And so what you can do, see, because this is what makes it the whole date night romantic thing, because you can do this in a mixing bowl. Because what you want to be able to do is have that contact. See, where you just mix it all together. And since this is my wife. And so once you get it to this stage, that's when I take the water. And you may need more, but you want to start with about 3 tablespoons of water. And you start mixing it together. And what you'll see is it starts to come together and crumbles. As you're kneading it, you're developing the gluten, which gives it the noodle, consistency. And I'm gonna add just a little bit, probably about a half a tablespoon. The thing about the water aspect of this dough, it depends on how dry the flour is you're using. It depends on where you're making it. If you're making this in a place that has a lot of humidity, it's going to be a different amount of water. So you really want to play it by ear. And once you get it to come together like that, you want to just begin to grab it and turn it and just keep working it until it comes together as a whole. Now in this stage, I don't like to work it too much because you don't want tough noodles. And so you just want it to really just come together in a ball. And then what you do is you take that, put a kitchen towel over top of it, and literally set it to the side and let it sit for about an hour. And then after it sits for an hour, it doesn't rise or anything because there's no leavening in here. But what you'll find is it'll start to become a smoother consistency, and the water and the oil, the egg will all soak in, and it'll be ready to press. Okay, after your dough sits for at least an hour, you can put it in, you shouldn't put it in the refrigerator unless you're gonna do it the next day, because you want your dough to always be room temperature. And so what we also have made as well is, if you don't want to use white flour, you can actually use whole wheat flour. The only difference is, instead of putting 1.5 cups of semolina and 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, you just use 1.5 cups of semolina and 1.5 cups of wheat flour. And the difference between the white flour and the wheat flour is the wheat flour has more protein in it and it has more fiber in it. So it's a little bit better for you, but it's still flour, so you know, it's within moderation. But as you can tell, it's a lot darker than the rest. And so what I do is, when that has risen, you cut it into 4 pieces, and I have 3 of them here that I'm going to give you guys each one. Each one of these will make 2 servings. So you should get somewhere between 8 to 10 servings out of the recipe that I just gave you. And then the whole wheat pasta, this has to sit, where this has to sit for an hour, this has to sit overnight. And so you put this in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight, because the moisture has to soak into it, and it takes a lot longer to do it because this has way more fiber in it. So what you guys are gonna do is, you're gonna take your dough ball, and you're gonna put some muscle in it. And what you wanna do is take a little bit of flour, and you wanna put that all around there. Lift yours up. You wanna just take a roller. And that's why I said this is a good group thing, because you could have a group of people together, and everybody can have their own type of pasta. You know, whereas if you're making or cooking something for people, oftentimes everybody's eating the same thing. And maybe some people like a certain type better than others, and you get to play with your food, be very hands-on. And you just want to make sure you move it around, make sure it stays go to the flour. And you want to get it down to about 1/8 of an inch thick.
Based on your marriage, Pastor Gene, what is the best version of a husband that you can be to your wife? And Pastor Shayna, what is the best version of a wife that you can be to your husband?
I think the best version that I can be is probably to be careful not to get into comparison of what other people say it should be, but to listen to her and to know what it is she wants me to be. Yeah. I think sometimes when people interact with each other, particularly husband and wife, I think they have preconceived notions about what it should be and what it should look like. I don't speak into what other people have arranged in their marriage. Just like I don't expect people to speak into how we do things. She likes certain things, and I want to try to make sure that I please her in all the things that I am. And so I think I let her set the benchmark for me, and then that's what I strive towards. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think also for me, just to be supportive in everything that we do. You know, we have businesses, we're entrepreneurs, we're in ministry, and it's a different type of lifestyle. So to be supportive in everything that he needs for a wife, whether it's good or bad, to be there, to be his backbone, to help, to assist. For me, I think that's the best version. And then also, like he said, to listen, because sometimes you can look at other marriages and you can get into comparisons and that type of thing. And you have to know that your union is unique to you guys, and so it should be that way.
Definitely. So what we're gonna do is, I have my fancy schmancy KitchenAid mixer, and I have a pasta attachment that goes on the outside. And this pasta attachment has a bunch of different settings. So what I will do is sometimes make it kind of neat and start it off on a perfect square. You want to run it through your machine on its widest setting. And when I first put it through, I'll put it through the same setting twice. And then what you'll begin to do is ratchet it down. And if you notice, it's getting longer. and I take it to number 3. Now, you don't want to try to rush this and ratchet it up too fast, because this is a process. And if you notice, each time it's getting thinner and it's getting longer. Now, if you look, you'll see, you can actually see my fingers through there.
Wow.
And so that's what you want. You want it just about that consistency. And then you take all of your scraps and you can put your scraps back together and literally create a whole nother dough ball, roll it back out and put it back through again. So when you get this, your sheet, you want to put just a little bit of flour and you want to brush it. The reason being is you don't want it to stick. And you flip it over and do the same thing. Now, don't worry about what it looks like on its edges, because what you're going to do is roll it. There's a machine or another attachment that they make that does the fettuccine or does the linguine, but I personally prefer to cut it by hand. And so what you can do is whatever you like. If you like angel hair, you'll cut it very thin. If you like fettuccine, you cut it a little bit thicker. If you want it in sheets, you literally can cut it in wide sheets. I mean, it's up to you at this point. But I kind of cut the first end off, and then you just go. I like a little bit of a wider cut, and you just go through. You just loosely shake it. See that? And you make a little nest out of it, sprinkle some flour on top so they won't stick together. There you have it. We just want to take a moment to invite you to our Elephant in a Bedroom series that we are running starting February 10th, and it's going to run through the middle of March. And we're going to be dealing with relationship issues and challenges. So if there's anything that you'd like to deal with concerning your relationships, we're going to be tackling some very tough subjects, and we're really going to be real honest, raw, and relevant. And so if you don't have a home church, we'd love to have you come and spend some time with us. We know that you'll enjoy the messages, and we know that you'll get something out of it, and it'll be a blessing to your life. So we invite you to come visit us at Stonepoint Community Church. We love you, and God bless.
Next time on At the Table with the Herndons, we're going to be finishing our homemade pasta with brown sauce on our date night episode.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a second and ask you, as you're watching these videos, to share them with your friends and family, like, comment. If you're actually cooking some of the food that we're sharing with you, I want you to post a picture of your final product and tag us in it so we can see the things that you guys are doing. So like, share, subscribe. I also want you to go onto our YouTube channel and to like, comment, share, and subscribe our videos as we share things with you. Thanks so much.